Oh, looks like the printing pod is done. Wonder what we got going on inside of here today. Oh, look at that! It looks like it made a Hatcher coaster. Oh, isn't that cool? I didn't know it made those. Yeah, that'll be real nice. Just like that. Perfect. But just what in the world is going on here? Welcome to Quality of Life MK2. So today we're going to be taking a look at the latest upgrade preview here from the developers. So just like we saw in the previous Quality of Life upgrade, this is really improvements to the existing systems that are in the game rather than adding even more mechanics to the game like we saw in the former upgrade. So for the sake of time in this video, I'm just going to focus on just the new features that they've currently announced. If they announce more of them over the next couple of weeks, then I'll do updates to the videos. There's also a really big announcement for those that have been following this channel for a while, and I've really been looking forward to getting this one out there. So hold on. Let's talk about printing pods first. So the biggest news here is that when we look at a printing pod, not only can we choose a duplicate, but we can choose something else that it's going to make here. So in the past, printing pods have only made duplicates out of genetic ooze. However, with this upgrade comes an opportunity for us to get something different out of these printing pods. So if you click on this, you can see here I have an option in this case to spawn any of these duplicates. What's up, meep? Or in this case, 500 kilograms of dirt. Now I know I have a lot of these printing pods on the screen. They're all linked to the exact same thing. Poor Meep, he's really got to go to the bathroom. So prepare yourself. I'm going to rapid fire through many different printing pods here to see what we could potentially get. Oh, this time 2,000 kilograms of water. What does that look like? Ah, that's a bottle of water. I thought it would just dump it on the floor. What do we have this time? Ooh, a barrier seed and a shine nymph. Hello. Now that right there is really important because if you have accidentally caused a single species to go extinct in your base, this gives you an opportunity to try again. Ooh, we got fertilizer, 3,000, and coal, 3,000. Fungal spore or a pufflet egg. 3 of them. So that actually is a pretty good one. Check it out. Ah, I just got coal, shine nymph, and sandstone. Those seem to be popular. Muckroot. A little bit of freak food. Not bad. Oh, we could get ourselves a little pufflet. By the way, yes, reloading the exact same save after the printing pod has gone active does allow you to re-roll. So if you're really looking to game the system, yep, you now know how. Choose a dupes. Shine nymph egg. All right, so that's pretty common. Sand. Shine nymph. So after many reloads and checking through stuff there, I only ever got the basic resources that were available to me. However, some people in the forums have said over here that they have potentially gotten some steel as early as cycle 18. Now it's only 500 kilograms, but if you think about it, 500 kilograms for steel, and if you have the right geyser around, that can make a big difference. So maybe it's luck of the draw. Maybe they're making some adjustments to what actually can come up in the printer. I'm sure some people are going to dive into the code and see what they can dig up, and I'm looking forward to hearing what all is potentially in there. Fingers crossed for a gassy moo. Another new thing that they've added here to the game is a priority level 10, and this puts your base into red alert mode. So this is really helpful if your duplicate decides to dig themselves into a hole or bury themselves in a wall. Happens every once in a while. And if it just so happens that it's the end of the cycle, rather than clicking multiple things, you can use one single tool right there to wake everybody up, to get the thing that needs to be done to save your duplicate. The next thing that they've added here is a to-do list for your duplicate, so you can kind of see what they're going to do and how they're going to do that. So right now, Marie is coming down here to store some meat. Then she's now going to go to a repair supply, which is right there. And she fell asleep. Marie, you're making my example really difficult. So if we look at Marie and we look at her to-do list, we're going to get a lot of really good information out of this. And this is going to be an awesome topic for a future video, which we're going to do a deep dive into priorities, how it works, you know, and how do we efficiently move things around, because we have a much better view of what's going on here. Because if we look at this, watch. You can see that Marie's supply priority is very high, right? So where is very high? That is this over here. So Marie's job is set, that's actually a job, right? That's set to very high. If we set this, which is basically a build errand, that's also going to be very high. So these are the same height. You can see them right down here, 50. So what you can also see here is that the electric grill priority is 6, and all supply errands is 0.5. This brings it to a total of 56.5. So you can see why she's going to cook or supply to the kitchen, but then she's going to move on to the next one here, which is a farming supply, because the compost priority is only 5. So it came up as a 55.5 versus a 56.5. So there's a lot of really good resolution that we can get out of this as far as what your duplicants are doing it and why they're doing it. Also added to the screen here is long commutes. So now we can click on this and we can see that my duplicants are spending a good amount of their time running all over this base. And there's probably a good reason for that, because this base is humongous. You will also see here that one of the changes they made to this game is that duplicants will slightly prefer walking over flying in jet suits to prevent from wasting fuel. So you saw there how Marie was actually moving around. She was using ladders and things like that to run around. Also, when she was in an open area, rather than just fly constantly, they actually use their limbs. So that should help cut down on wasted fuel and pollution inside of your base if you happen to be using it there like I am. You'll also see under the reports that they've kind of reworked this so that it's a little bit easier to understand. The biggest one here is the amount of chores that my duplicants have to do in a single cycle right there. So if I'm just looking at this, there's 590 chores that needed to be done, and this is how many of them are being removed. So you can see what cycles have been efficient and what cycles were less efficient. Again, probably something we're going to have to explore under a deeper dive into the whole priority system. I can tell that not everything up here is working as intended. Restroom accidents, apparently there was 345. Not quite. It's a development build, people. Although if we look down further, we can see the time details here. You can see the amount of time spent working and how much they're actually doing something versus the travel time, how much you're spending in a single cycle doing that stuff, versus personal time. So if we look at the previous cycle right here, you can see that we were only 22% efficient. Unfortunately, most of my time is being consumed by traveling around from one thing to the next. So those are some really interesting numbers to kind of analyze what's going on here. But then again, we're looking at Marie, whose job is a gopher. So her job is basically to travel around. Luckily, we can break this down and see, okay, who's not traveling? So a good one might be Tiny T-Rex Arms here. If we take a look at him, he's only spending 33% of his day traveling around. And if we get a good look at what he's doing here, you can see that he's spending, so far, 28% of his day cooking. He ponders for 2%. He supplies a kitchen for 1%. So there you have it. That's some really useful tools there to kind of analyze what's going on. And in my base here, which is, trying to get to the point where it's as automated as it could possibly be, those are some really helpful numbers. Another change that I didn't even know about is that you can now put eggs on top of a pedestal. Now, while this may seem like a small thing, there's a chance that it might be a big deal if it allows you to preserve this egg indefinitely. Okay, so it says growth suppressed. Environmental conditions are preventing this egg from developing. It will not hatch if the current conditions continue. Ooh. Viability loss rate, 10% per cycle. All right, so in their patch notes, they mentioned that pathing is now multi-threaded. All right, but can it handle 102 duplicants? You guys remember this map, the Triple Printer Challenge? Ridiculous. This was back in the old days when the door pumps were actually a viable option. Yeah, that since has changed. So let's do a little bit of before and after here. We're going to run the most extreme first. So here it is at normal speed. You can see that my overall CPU, and you can see this is the CPU I have right here. I built this computer a couple years ago, is currently running at 40%. If we take a look at its spread across all the different CPUs, you can see that, it's most of them are seeing load. I can't see exactly what CPU 9 is doing down here, but you get some sort of idea at least of what's going on. To be fair, I'm actually quite impressed that this is running at 21 frames per second on the developer build. If you go back and actually watch what this game was like back when I was doing this challenge, the frame rate was abysmal. This is a big step forward from where it was. So it looked as if I was hitting right around 40% on the CPU, and it did look like, for the most part, at least the first 8 CPUs were seeing load. I don't know how to better test this. So going from that extremely chaotic base to this one right here, you can see that my CPU is running around 35% or so. And you can get some sort of idea of how that is spread across my different CPUs there. This is really an apples to pears comparison though, because these bases are vastly different. We're going to have to wait for this update to come out officially to see where we're at today versus where we're at in 3 weeks. So the maximum I saw was about 44%. We're seeing 38%. Not a big difference as far as total CPU usage is concerned. And about 4% of that is being accounted for by my recording software. Okay, so if we compare this to a map with pretty much nothing going on, well, you can see the CPU utilization is now at 33%, 32%. Okay, so not massively different, surprisingly. Although the frames are way better. Interesting. So for the last update here, they've added new space artifacts that can be brought back and displayed inside of your base. So we're going to load up some rockets, send some dupes out into space, and see if they come back with something real nice. And yes, it can be brought back by astronauts or tourists. If you put all of your dupes inside of a sightseeing module, you will lose your colony. That doesn't seem quite right. Come on, dupes. Just find one. Anyone. Oh, by the way, this little arrow, super useful, right? These are in sightseeing. If you hit that, flips it to the other side. That's nice. Didn't even know about that. Awesome. It's great if you got like a bunch of beds or something. All right, guys, you are all going to be astronauts, but with no training. Good luck. Everybody is locked and loaded. Are we fueled? Nope, not yet. While we're waiting for this rocket to fuel up, let's talk about the 2 big announcements here for this channel. Now, this is something that's been requested a lot on this channel. I started to implement it over this last month here with my Patreon supporters, and now it is going public. That's right, this channel now has an official Discord server. It is my hope that this Discord channel serves as a greater conduit to communicate ideas, develop videos, and to get to know each other better. You can find the link to this server in the description below. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Now, the second one is a big one, and I've been dying to tell you about it for a long time now. Now, I have an official video that I'm still working on, so I'm not going to cast the entire vision here, but the big news is that as of January 4th, I retired from my job as an engineer on good terms and everything like that. Nothing bad going on here. I just have a vision for what this channel could be and where we can go in 2019. But at the core of what I'm trying to do here is to really encourage creativity by developing ideas through prototypes into reality and trying to work through that whole process. You've seen me do it for several years here. You've contributed your ideas. You've talked about it in the descriptions below. And I want to continue to build on that, not only here in this game, but eventually into the real world as well. How that's going to work and function is going to roll out in an announcement video that you'll see here in the near future. So far over the past month, this has been a real learning curve, and also why I haven't really announced it, because I've been very, very busy trying to set up business accounts and all of this fun stuff in the background, setting up the Discord so that you guys have a place to better connect with each other. It's been a lot of work, but you know what? I'm loving it, and I'm in a way better place now than I've been in for years. Now, there is a catch with working full-time on YouTube, and that is that I need to make a full-time income off of YouTube. So please don't turn away, and please pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. My channel here over the last 5 years has really been a side project for me. So it didn't matter how much money I made here on YouTube, and I never really communicated it, and currently we have a relationship where if you wanted to support me, that would be good enough, because it was just something extra. However, as it stands, this channel only makes 33% of what I need to cover my basic necessities, such as food and shelter and insurances and all of that stuff combined. On the flip side of this channel has a huge financial potential. There's over 500,000 views, and on average, each person is spending about 10 minutes watching my content. So the gap between where it is today and where it needs to be is really not that big. And it isn't that big so long as we start to work together. So to my regular viewers of this channel, I ask you this: if my videos have helped you in the past, in what small way can you help me here in the present? Luckily, there's a ton of free ways that can make a ginormous difference here. I've loaded up my description down there below with many different opportunities. Depending on where you're at, all of those will go a long way to help support this channel. As it currently stands, this channel has experienced a 66% ad block rate. Simply disabling that for a short amount of time would be all it would take to make this channel go from underfunded to funded. I'll crack the eggs and cook the omelets if you can supply the power. Thank you so much for your time and your support. Are you guys ready for this? Let's hit the launch button and send off 5 rockets at the same time here. This is going to be awesome. And we're probably going to melt this computer, which would be really bad because I need it. Yeah, come on! Houston, we have a problem. Let me hit launch again. Rockets? Launch pad blocked. Are you kidding me? We can't just blast through the surface anymore? I didn't see that update. Blast off! Yes. This is awesome. Let's just take a look at the temperature overlay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This thing is hot. And there they go, off into space. All right, so the first rockets should be arriving here. Oh, buddy, well, there they are. Hello. Slow it down, guys. So they can dig down, but they can't dig up. That's so disappointing. I thought they'd be able to do that. You know, small issue. Clunk. How are these dupes climbing on broken ladders? If the ladder is broken and the dupe can still climb on it, is it really broken? I don't know. All about to be cooked. Oh my. I mean, to be fair, that's only 196C, or maybe about 200. I mean, that's like perfect PLA temp. Oh boy. Oh no. Uh-oh. Yeah, small issue. Ooh. Ah, here's the other two. So these 2 rockets here went to a further destination. They went out to the metallic asteroid. So I wonder if what they brought back is different. All right, spoiler alert if you don't want to see this, but I will ask you if this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you've been watching this for a while, you may want to double check that YouTube hasn't accidentally unsubscribed you. I've been running into that problem frequently. Thank you so much for your support. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of Oxygen Not Included. I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this update and also what's going to come after the MK2 upgrade. So let's check out what we got going on here. We've got a small obelisk, decor plus 20 with a radius of 3 tiles, radius of 6 tiles for an egg-shaped rock with a decor of 35. By the way, everything here is made of genetic ooze, apparently. So there's some moldavite here. What in the world is that? Oh, it's a rock. Although it's a green glass-like rock. Interesting. It's probably a Horcrux, though. I mean, and that's my only guess. We got some archaic technology here. I think it's a cassette or possibly one of those old VHS tapes. Next to that is a mangled saxophone and a wristwatch. So, coming from the other rockets, I went out a little bit further. We got the moldavite there, the decor plus 20, shield generator. Interesting. This means if the dupes are pulling this from the debris around the planet that floats around in the background, there was probably some advanced technology going on before whatever happened destroyed the planet and stuck these people where they are. Stethoscope, not all that interesting. An encrusted teapot, with a thick layer of neutronium in it. Not sure how that got there. Probably kind of hard to clean. and then yet another small obelisk. Nothing ominous about that. So there you have it, guys, the intro to Quality of Life MK2. In a nutshell, performance enhancements, space swags, and a lot of to-do lists to get your priorities right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar.